braids and a taper might be a better combo than Luka and LeBron James, and today I'm going to show you how to do a taper without wasting your time. So we're starting off by establishing our bald line at the end of the eyebrow and where the ear connects to the head. Now you want to come in lever all the way open, going up about a 1/4 inch above that bald line because you want to give yourself room to blend. I'm also going to do the same on the beard. Now right here you're going to see me close up that lever to get rid of the line in between the bald and the open right on the beard, and I'm going to do the same for the side taper, coming in closed, and as I move up I open up that lever little by little until we are fully open, using a lot of the corner of the blade so I don't raise up this taper higher than I need to. Now we're going to come in with the 1 guard lever all the way open, and again we're going up about a 1/4 inch, being sure to flick out at the top of this guideline. Flicking out, we're just going to make it a lot easier to get rid of the line right above it. Now I went ahead and closed that 1 guard to lighten up the line directly below that, still utilizing the corner of that blade right on the right side. Now we're going to drop down to our half guard with the lever closed, and this is going to get rid of that last bottom line. And now to really debulk the whole area where we did the taper, we're going to come in with the 1.5 guard closed to take that area down. Now what I could have done is start off the cut by knocking it down to the 1.5, but because I didn't know how light his hair would be at the 1.5, I didn't want to start there. Because if I would have took it down and it would have made that area too light, I don't think it would have been a good look. I think keeping it as dark as possible is going to make the lineup and taper pop with the braids. And now we're going to come to the other side of his head, following that same system, going from where the ear connects to the head to where the end of the eyebrow is. And you'll notice I'll give it kind of that round or burst shape. This is really going to allow the taper to stand out because it's going to allow me to keep the lineup as dark and as full as possible. And now we're going to come in with the lever all the way open on our 245 and Babyliss clipper, and again we're going up about a 1/4 inch. Now if you guys been on social media, you've seen the 245 and Babyliss release. I was able to get these a little sooner than the drop date, so I've had them for about a month and a half now, and let me tell you, these clippers are amazing. I really enjoy the battery life on them and the fact that you can see what charge they're at the entire time, as well as the power. It makes blending a lot easier because I can go all the way from closed to open and cover 0 to the lever open, really a 1 guard closed, just because how far that blade really opens up. But you'll notice right here I also have the 245 and Babyliss guards that came with the clipper, and Babyliss had premium guards, but those guards really were bulky. They didn't feed through the hair well, so what they did is have less material on these new guards, and the ends of them are a little sharper, so they kind of pick up the hair as they cut, which allows for a nice and even cut without having to go through it multiple times. So shout out to Beam for the innovation and for, you know, coming to Babyliss and being like, yo, you can make these better, and that they did. Not to mention the 245, you know, green, super legendary. Now we're just blending into the beard, which is basically a reverse taper. And now we're going to move into the back taper and neck lineup. So I want to lower these hairs behind the ear as well, but you want to be very careful to not nick any of the hairs in the braid, because if you do, it's never going to be a major difference right away, but those little hairs over a period of time will continue to make his parting not as symmetrical, as well as raise those braids every time, and that you don't want to do. Now we're going to get into the neck taper, and we're establishing our bald line a little below the bottom of the ear. And you'll see I have to hold the braids up because they weren't long enough to tie up, so I'm kind of holding it as, you know, I'm tapering. Now we're using our trimmer. As you can see, it's mowing right through the hair, following it up with our shaver. But if you guys are enjoying this tutorial so far, be sure to hit that like and drop a comment down below. And also, if you feel like you want to go a little more in depth than my YouTube tutorials go, I do have an online training program called Clipperhands Academy, where I walk you through my system of cutting that allows you to give out those Instagram quality haircuts in an efficient manner every single time. So again, you can join by going to the link in the description, and I hope to see you in the community. Now we're just going into that second guideline, lever all the way open, and we're getting rid of the line that formed in between. Now we're going to come in with the one guard closed, kind of going a little above that lever open. Now you'll see me open it up all the way, go up even a little higher. And that's the same thing as me going lever open and then closing it afterwards. But as you can see, as I get towards the top, I'm scooping out. I want to use a 1.5 at the top of this neck taper still, so I'm being sure to keep some room up there. And now I'm being sure to comb or brush those hairs down. And now I'm coming in with the 1.5 to take down that neck taper. And what a lot of people will do, especially with braids, because they know they're going to hang over, is they'll get real lazy on the parts of the haircut where the client really won't notice. But if you want to be a barber that separates yourself, you have to be very detailed and do things that most people won't. And that's the honest truth. A lot of people want, great results as a barber. They want to make a lot of money. They want to get booked, but they are willing to do the things that separate them from other barbers. And first and foremost, that's not being lazy, right? That even if the client is not going to notice like you will, you still take the time and the pride in doing what needs to be done. And that includes little details such as this, combing those hairs down and then coming in with that 1.5 closed and knocking that down. And now we're going to frame out his nape or neck lineup. So I like to start at the top of the ear. This allows, me to not raise that area up more than it needs to. What you don't want to do is raise behind the ear super high because it looks funny. It grows back crazy. But I'll start at the top of the ear and then work my way down to the bottom of the nape. And as you can see, all I got to do is tap with these trimmers and they're eating right through the hair. And man, shout out to the braiders who don't put, extra product on the sides. I know as a barber, I enjoy when clients get their braids before a haircut. But it's the worst when they just got them and they put too much product in their braids. And then it's seeping over onto the sides and the lineup. Makes it very difficult to cut. And in this scenario, they did a good job. So shout out to the braider. Now we're coming to the other side and doing the same thing. Still applying that pressure. Still remaining consistent in our system and our process. As you can see, the corner of that trimmer blade is eating right through that neck lineup. You want to be sure to keep this as wide as possible. What you don't want to do is dig into the back of the nape lineup. I know we want to get that sharp line, but the grow back on a pushback neck lineup is crazy. And although the client won't notice, somebody who's standing behind them in line might notice and let them know. And that you don't want to do. Because if someone has to point out a mistake to a client that they didn't notice, the client will be like, man, they knew I wasn't going to see that, and they still, decided to not fix that or not do that, which ultimately, will make a client more upset than just doing what you're supposed to do in the first place. And now we're going to frame out the lineup. So I'm starting on this vertical bar, and now I'm going to go to the middle and connect those 2 points in the corner, being sure to keep this as natural as possible. I don't want to push it back or dig into right where the braids start. And one thing I really enjoy that this client, told the braider is to give him a tapered hairline, but they didn't give him a tapered hairline that's 2 inches, right? They gave him a nice, more natural one where it really is those baby fine hairs. And I think that always looks the best because when you have a big part line, you're getting rid of a lot of hair that could be pulled back into the braids. And it could tend to look funny from a side profile view because you just have this big chunk gone in the front. This is kind of similar to how Drake had his when he had his braids. He had just those baby hairs that he combed down in the front, which I think are just enough hairs, to make the braids look cleaner and the lineup and taper look cleaner as well. So as you can see, I'm going over it a few times. I just really want to ensure that this lineup is as sharp and as crispy as it can be. And so far, this thing is looking clean. And now this is one of my favorite parts of the haircut, and that is the hook. So I like to start at the top of it, and then I'll go to the bottom and connect those 2 points in the middle. And what this is going to allow me to do is ensure that I keep this area as natural as possible, but still get that nice round shape on the arch lineup. This is really what's going to bring the taper together, and that's what I mean when I said I wanted to keep the area as full as possible. I think it makes that part of the lineup stand out that much more. And now we're going to move on to the right side of his head, bringing that lineup straight across, lining up his vertical bar, and then we'll go to that side curve here in a second. So on this side, this tends to be, the side that's more difficult for barbers who are right-handed. So sometimes I take a little more time on this side. The first pass of the trimmer might not be the perfect, hook. So I'll go over it just a few more times. And as you can see, it's nice and clean, natural. But what we're going to do is we're going to sauce it up, especially since I'm recording it with some Zoom 45 enhancement in my airbrush. And I'm using the card just to avoid excess spray on the forehead and really focus right where I need it on the hairline. So I always like to spray it lightly and then spray more or darken it up as I need to. What you don't want to do is spray too much on, because once you put it on, it's just a pain to get off. So if you put it on the first time lightly and then darken it up, it gives you less chance for mistake. So I'm using the corner of that Sean Cutter Zoom 45, clutch card to kind of focus up on the hairline. Now we're going to use our razor. So you want to be sure to stretch the skin in the opposite direction of which you are using the razor. This is going to, prevent any nicks or cuts and less irritation. What you don't want to do, because you can have a fire haircut, right? Everything could be perfect. The lineup can be sharp. The taper can be sharp. But as soon as there's a cut, I feel like I need to throw the whole haircut away. It just becomes the focal point. It kind of makes everything look not as good. So as much as you can, try to avoid, redness or irritation on the client's skin. And definitely try not to cut them, because I think it's just going to ruin the entire haircut experience. Now, do mistakes happen? Of course. There's still moments I nick people on the mustache or, on the front hairline, depending on if there's dry skin or a pimple or something. But you always want to limit the mistakes and give out the best quality product as possible. And now we're going to line up the other side of the beard. And now the top of his beard is a little lighter, so there's not much we're going to do here. But we're going to stretch the skin, like I said, in the opposite direction. And we're going to try to keep this line as high as we can. And this is already going to make those baby fine hairs stand out that much more, as you can see. But shout out to my client for coming in with the Nipsey Hussle braids and getting the taper. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And again, if you want to go more in depth in your haircut education, join my online training program by tapping the link in my bio. But I'll see y'all next time. Peace.